Nick speaking, and welcome to this battle report. Right, something a bit different today. We're going to have a throwback to a 4th edition mission. We played this many times, it's a lot of fun. It's called A Battle at the Camp. It came from, I believe, one of the, either a white dwarf of one of the supplemented things in the old days. But basically, you have to deploy your HQs in the middle, one HQ each. In the central position. You then set up a camp a certain amount of inches away. We've got the Space Marines up over there. They've deployed a Vindicator, a Predator, Speeder, a couple of Rhinos with tacticals in, some bikes, and some Terminators. Their captain is just a basic captain. And the Blood Angels, he's got a Chaplain over there, a Land Raider. There's some Vanguards, some Tacticals, some Hurricane Speeders and some Scouts. And I've deployed all the way over here. I've got as my Lord a Destroyer Lord with the 2+ save and the Warsaw. And then here we have 6 destroyers. There's a single heavy destroyer, 2 groups of 3 wraiths, 10 warriors and 9 immortals. So the idea of the game is you get 250 points if your Lord or your HQ manages to slay another HQ. You then get 100 points bonus if you manage to get a scoring unit into your enemy's camp. A scoring unit in those days was a 50% or more strong unit to be able to score those 100 points. Now, the other rule that we've got for this mission is called confusion. So all of these units here and in each of our deployment camps are not activated. At the beginning of our turns, we're able to do a leadership check on 3 units to try and activate them. Tanks have their own special leaderships. So for example, a heavy support will be leadership 6. So it's going to be quite interesting. And we can activate up to 3 units at the beginning of each turn. The other thing to note is that it's going to be random game turns, so we're going to draw it out randomly, see who goes first, and I'll be back with some more action. Right, okay, so pretty eventful that turn 1. The dice was randomly drawn out and it was a green one, so it was Necrons to go first. I managed to activate my destroyers. I also activated both squads of the Wraiths. Both squads of the Wraiths moved up there. That squad at the back there just ran a few more inches into that building. I then eyed up the destroyers onto the Chaplain. My idea was to try and shoot the Chaplain down. You get no points for shooting anything. You've got to slain the HQ in close combat with another HQ. So that was a bit of a denial for anyone else to get those 250 points. And then I eyed up the little cheap captain there with the Destroyer Lord. I managed to get in, no hits were done on me. I managed to do 3 wounds, 3 Iron Halo saves were made, and he rolled 111. So I managed to get 250 points slaying that Lord. Denied the victory points for everyone else on there, so I'm definitely on the up. But there's still victory points to play for, because if you get units into other camps, you are able to get some more points. Okay, we're going to continue now. It's going to be turn 1 for the Blood Angels. We've just pulled the second dice out and it was a red one. So turn 1 for Blood Angels. Right, okay, so that was Blood Angels, turn 1. Pretty successful, managed to activate 3 units. First of all the Scouts, then the Vanguards, and then the Speeders. The Speeders moved in front of the Raider and shot my Destroyer Lord. Managed to save everything with my 2+ save. The Scouts moved up and managed to get into assault range of my Wraiths. I lost 1 Wraith and I killed 2 Scouts, so just a draw on the assault, so we're just locked in combat there. It's now going to be turn 1 for the Space Marines. We'll see if they can activate any units. Okay, so turn 1 for the Space Marines, my son, and he continues to roll appallingly. So he tried to activate the Predator and the Vindicator, both failed. He did manage to activate his Terminators. They moved up. they tried to shoot my Destroyer Lord. Only one guy could see, and he rolled 2 2s, so totally missed. So that was it. So what happens now is the Space Marines dice stays out of the cup, so they're not drawn out 2 times in a row. The other 2 dice go back into the cup, and we'll draw randomly, see who has turn 2 first. Okay, so turn 2 there for the Necrons, as it turns out. I went first again. So I managed to activate all the other units, the Heavy Destroyer and the Immortals and Warriors. I backtracked with the Wraiths slightly, just to give me a bit of breathing space there. Moved the Destroyers up, they couldn't shoot anything, they were out of range. The Destroyer Lord decided to go on the attack, moved and jumped in the assault phase up onto that ruins there. We then went into the assault here. I lost no race, no wounds, and I managed to kill 2 scouts. However, they didn't fail their leadership. And that was it. That was my turn 2. I'm going to randomly select now, see who comes out next. Okay, so turn 2 there for the Space Marines this time. So yeah, it happened again. Didn't activate the Vindicator, didn't activate the Predator, did activate the Speeder. Speeder moved up behind that piece of terrain, and then the Terminators tried to move forward off of that hill. They moved 2 inches. Then they decided to shoot my Destroyer Lord just here, and rolled 6 1s to hit, and then the last couple of hits got no wounds. So Space Marine struggling at the moment, but it is now going to be turn 2 for the Blood Angels. Okay, so straight into turn 2 for the Blood Angels. They managed to activate the tactical squad there with the last cannon. The Land Raider wasn't activated. The tactical squad shot into my Destroyer Lord there. The last cannon did manage to wound me, but I got a 6 on my RP roll, so I saved that. The speeders moved backwards, tried to keep out of shooting range of my guns here. They then proceeded to shoot me here, and I took 2 wounds, so 1 of the destroyers went down. The vanguards, which were just over there, didn't take my bait with the Destroyer Lord and decided to make their way up to my phalanx just here by my objective in my camp. So they just basically moved 12 inches up there. We continued the assault. I lost a wound on one of my wraiths. I killed 1 scout, so we're locked in combat. I think, how many scouts are left there? 3 scouts? 3 scouts left. Okay, so we're going to go on now to turn 3, and once again we're going to randomly draw to see who goes first. Okay, so that was turn 3, and this time the Space Marines went first, and they had a slightly better turn there. So they managed to activate the bikes and also the Vindicator. They moved on up along with the Terminators, just slowly moving off that piece of terrain. 1 bike was in range of my destroyer, and I took a wound. The Terminators were just in range of this destroyer, but no wounds were taken with that one. And that was it, so we're just going to randomly see who goes next. Okay, so next to be drawn out was the Necrons. I moved the destroyers up here, tried to shoot the bikes, they did jink. Managed to kill 1 bike, that was all. The heavy destroyer popped out there and he shot the Vindicator, but I rolled a 2, so I totally whiffed. Moved these into range of the vanguards, and then I moved up the wraiths ready to assault as well. As it was in the shooting phase, got some good hits through, some bad saves made by the Blood Angels. 3 of the guys died. Then they failed their leadership and they ran 16 inches all the way behind that tank over there. The Destroyer Lord, who jumped off the piece of terrain ready to assault them as well, in the end assaulted the scouts and managed to clear them off. So just consolidated there with the wraiths and the Destroyer Lord. As we move in now to Blood Angels, turn 3. Okay, so it was Blood Angels turn 3, and the disaster continued. The Vanguard failed their leadership, continued running, and read the rules, and they have to run, once they get to their camp, they have to run to the nearest board edge, which took them off of the table there. Tried to activate the Land Raider, failed to do that. Moved the speeders again away from my destroyers. They did manage to take another wound off of the front guy there that already had a wound, so I lost another destroyer. And that was it. So we're going to roll randomly once again and see who goes for first turn on turn 4. Okay, so turn 4, once again it was Necrons to be drawn out to go first. Moved the destroyers again in range of the bikes, shot into them, they did jink, I managed to kill one of the bikes there. My heavy destroyer shot at the Vindicator, I managed to get the bullet out this time but failed to penetrate the armour. I just jumped back behind the rock in the assault phase, used my assault move, and the destroyers also moved back 7 inches. Just spread these 2 units around here, just trying to get into the best position possible. In the meantime, the Destroyer Lord joined the squad of 3 Wraiths just there, and the other 2 Wraiths made headway to the central position of the board. So that was it for turn 4 for the Necrons. We're going to randomly find out who goes next. Okay, so turn 4 continues, and this time it was the Space Marines. They managed to activate one of the Rhinos, still failing to activate the Predator and the other Rhino. Everything making a bit of a headway towards the Necrons, as you would expect. So the Terminators shot through the little window there at my Wraiths. I lost the Wraith that was on 1 wound, he took another wound and died. I then had the bikes that was snapshotting shoot to my destroyers. They missed. The Vindicator, however, managed to get the pie template in, and it did scatter, landed on 1. I didn't roll a 6, so I lost one of those. I took a leadership check, but I was fine. And that was it for the Space Marines, which now means it's going to be the Blood Angels turn 4. Okay, so turn 4 for the Blood Angels. Next we're going to move into turn 5. The Blood Angels tried to activate their Land Raider, failed. The last cannon behind there, the little squad of tacticals, decided to help the Space Marines out. So they shot at the Predator, which automatically basically makes it active. The last didn't do any damage, but that is now active. Then the speeders just on the edge of the board shot into my Wraith, the single Wraith that was there, and lost both wounds, so he died. That was it. So we're now going to randomly find out who goes first on potentially the last turn, turn 5. Okay, so turn 5, and it was the Space Marines to go first. They all basically bared their guns onto my HQ. The Terminators shot me first, took a Wraith down. The bikes shot me, they were snapshotting, so no damage there. And then the Speeder shot me, but I managed to save everything there. And then it was the last cannon, Pred's turn. Managed to get 2 of the last cannons through, rolled to wound, rolled a double 1. Space Marines luck there, just not working for them at the moment. The Vindicator shot my destroyers. They scattered off and missed everything. And that was it. So we're going to move into turn 5 now. We're going to randomly find out, is it the Blood Angels or the Necrons next? Okay, so next was Necrons. Moved up these guys here, got the Immortals into shooting range. He popped his head round the corner again, and the destroyers were just there, and they shot at the bikes. The bikes did jink once again. 1 went down. The Immortals managed to take the skimmer down there. Managed to get 3 whole points in the end, so I rolled really well on those. In the assault phase, I just moved the heavy destroyer behind the rocks, and I moved the destroyers just over there, spread out as much as possible. Over this side of the table, I moved the Wraiths away from the Destroyer Lord, 12 inches up over towards the camp, and then I jumped the Destroyer Lord and then moved it in the assault phase up also over by the objective over there. And that was it. So we're going to move on swiftly now to turn 5 for the Blood Angels. Okay, so Blood Angels turn 5. Still failing to actually activate the Land Raider there. The speeders moved up and shot their missiles as frags into my warriors. Managed to save a good RP amount of saves, but one warrior did go down. And that was pretty much it. So that's the end of turn 5. We're going to now roll off and see if there is another turn or not. A 1. Nope, the game ends. So as it stands, the Necrons have 250 points for killing the HQ, and I have 200 points for having 2 units in the Blood Angels camp. And that was pretty much it, so no other score by the 2 Marines. Okay, so that's the end of the game. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed something slightly different in terms of the mission, and we'll see you in the next video.